Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our new Disney podcast called Monorail Memoirs. This is going to be a bit of a dive into all things Disney, mainly focused on Walt Disney World. We will be your hosts. I'm Cameron and there is Lauren. Lauren, how do I know you?
So we actually don't have a choice to know each other. We're siblings.
This is correct. So, we grew up together. I, for what it's worth, now live in Virginia in the United States. And so I'm a little bit closer to Walt Disney World, and I will be taking full advantage of that. And you'll see as this podcast goes on a little bit of adventures down there. We want to focus on various different areas for this, and it's going to be a conversational weekly podcast. If you do have any advice or things, you'll be able to see a ticker across our bar, which is options for you to be able to engage directly with us, because we're the only two that are doing this. And we're doing it because it's a passion project, something that we've always grown up with and wanted to do. With that, we're going to spend a couple of minutes on getting to know your hosts for this weekly podcast. So, Lauren, I have a series of questions for you. Question number 1, what is your favorite ride at Walt Disney World?
So I've spent long and hard thinking about this, and I absolutely love animals and all things kind of out there. So I just love the safari. It's different every time you do it. You're never ever going to get the zebra in the exact same spot and the lion in the exact same spot. So it's all very different and it's all changing. And just seeing them all in their semi-natural habitats is so lovely. So yeah, I'd say that is probably my favourite attraction.
That's an interesting one. And be honest, I didn't know that, even though I knew the question was going to be asked. And for the viewers who are able to watch this rather than just our audio participants, you'll probably see my eyebrows raise in a little bit of surprise. The safari is great. I don't disagree. And I think being able to do it every time, in fact, it's different, is fantastic. And it's probably one of my top maybe 6 or 7 rides. But don't you think, though, that unlike the more traditional rides, there can be a sense of disappointment in the safari if you don't get to see the animals that you particularly want?
But isn't that the beauty of it? You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
You could wait 50 minutes and see absolutely nothing. Or you could have the best experience ever. And surely the unknown is more exciting than the known, especially for the ones that have been many times. You can ride Space Mountain 10 times over, and you'll get the same thing.
But it's good 10 times over. That's the baseline, isn't it? It's good 10 times over. That's a really good answer. And for what it's worth, my favorite ride is the best ride that has been created at any Disney park ever, and that is the Carousel of Progress. And for those who think I'm kidding, I'm being deadly serious. The Carousel of Progress, to me, it holds a lot of personal memories in terms of family memories. We would often go there as children, either every year or every other year. We would head to the parks in Orlando from the UK, and we'd spend an awful lot of time actually in the parks themselves. But the combination of the heat you get in Florida, which for those who haven't been to Walt Disney World yet, is oppressive sometimes, especially in the summer months. When you're able to get out of the heat for 20 minutes, sit down, and everything about the soundtrack to the story, to the animatronics, to the simplicity of it, it truly is my favorite ride. One of the things you'll discover as we go through this process together of building this podcast is that we will be releasing weekly episodes, and we will dive into some of the more niche topics. For example, we may do a topic on why Carousel of Progress is the best ride in Walt Disney World. That might have to be hosted solely by me rather than it being a duo act. I don't know. But also we're going to cover more bigger topics. The episode 2 that you'll see next week is going to be us talking about the 4 parks in the Walt Disney World area, and by extension, which ones we think are best. We will be ranking them, and I foresee disagreements in our near future. With that said, though, we're going to talk about a couple of other favorite things to help you get to know us before we close out this shorter, briefer podcast, and then you get ready for next week's much larger, full-length show. So, Lauren, I have a follow-up question. So, your favorite resort, and I can tell your favorite ride I can deal with, and that being the safari. We will next week talk about favorite parks, so we won't cover that here. We won't get ahead of ourselves. But favorite Walt Disney World hotel, even if you've not stayed in it, what is your favorite hotel?
Oh, that is difficult. One popped straight into my mind, which I think you probably know which one it is the Grand. You know, we all love the Grand Floridian. It's yes, I know that we are English and going to America, we should want American stuff, and the Grand Floridian is very Victorian era and English and British. But I just absolutely love the class that it brings, and as soon as you walk into that lobby, the piano playing, oh, it is just something else. I absolutely love it. However, I've never stayed there, but I then thought about Animal Kingdom Lodge.
So we have stayed there.
No, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, sorry. Haha. Yes, we've never stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge. However, I will be staying there in, well, actually, by the time this is released, probably a week after this is released, I will be in Animal Kingdom Lodge. So I'll make sure to provide healthy feedback on how good it is. For those who don't know, I am a Disney Vacation Club member. Don't ask me how I paid for it because I'm still not sure. But suffice to say, my wife and I, we go to a lot of Disney resorts and are able to experience some of the different Disney hotels. I can confirm that Lauren is correct. The best resort, the best hotel to stay at Walt Disney World is the Grand Floridian. I was there in January of this year to do the Run Disney series. We will absolutely be doing a podcast on that because both Lauren and I are runners, much for our sins. We can insert questions as to what we're running away from because we insist on doing it, but nevertheless, that is a great way to start another topic for that. What I will say is there's been a very short episode this week, mainly to introduce ourselves. If you do wish to engage with us, you'll see that we are at Monorail Memoirs. You can also email us, monorailmemoirs@gmail.com. And of course, feel free to leave comments, thoughts, and queries in the description box, the comment section of YouTube. We will make sure to answer those personally. You know, we aren't doing this on a budget. We aren't trying to make anything from this. This is just two dedicated Disney fans trying to give, you know, a little bit of weekly content and hopefully opportunity to engage with other like-minded people who are excited about all things Walt Disney World. So with that, I'm going to call stumps on our first ever filming session of our new Walt Disney World podcast. What I will say is thank you very much from my perspective, and thank you for being part of this journey. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you to Lauren, of course, because there's a time difference between Virginia and the UK of 5 hours, so we're making sure that we get our filming schedules lined up. And as always, please stand clear of the doors. Thank you very much.